What up, my dogs? Welcome back. Today we've got a huge countdown. Today we're taking a look at the top 10 best escapes of all time. Let's dive right into it. Alright, coming in at number 10, we've got the two guys escaping from the girl's house in the opening scene of the movie Fired Up. This entire movie was pretty much my handbook for growing up. It's probably why no one likes me and I actually can't talk to girls at all. The two fellas are hooking up with these two girls and they're blatantly lying, saying they're the one, you give me butterflies. And then the two dads come home with these big juice heads and they have to escape in what can only be described as poetry in motion. Alright, coming in at number 9 is running on Pokemon. Nothing more annoying than when you're hauling ass through Route 34 on your Mac bike and you're trying to get to one of the towns and all of a sudden a Gengar or a Wabberfoot doesn't let you escape, so you have to kill it. Just a real waste of time. It makes you appreciate the times when you actually can run and get away from them. Alright, coming in number 8, we've got Operation Frequent Wind or the Saigon Evacuation. It's late April 1975 during the Vietnam War, and it's a mission to evacuate American civilians and at-risk Vietnamese from Saigon. The war was fucked and they were about to lose Saigon to those communist bastards, so they began an evacuation of the city. At the beginning of March, they had already started evacuating to neighbouring countries from Tan Son Nhat Airport in the south of Saigon. They were also developing a plan for a helicopter evacuation at various points throughout the city. On April 28th, the airport, which they had been evacuating people out of in South Saigon, was attacked by the Viet Cong, so they had to cease the evacuation of people by planes. They'd already gotten out 60,000 people though. Before this all happened, the US Embassy distributed a booklet called the Standard Instruction and Advice to Civilians in an Emergency. There was a map inside this booklet which showed all the evacuation points where you would meet in the event they had to do this helicopter evacuation. There was also a lift at and a note that said in it, "Note, evacuational signal. Do not disclose to other personnel when the evacuation is ordered. The code will be read on Armed Forces radio. The code is, the temperature in Saigon is 105 degrees and rising. This will be followed by playing of I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas." So on April 28th, when this evacuation was ordered, they played that message and that song, and the people knew to meet at those evacuation points and wait for the helicopters to come and get them out. In 19 hours, 81 helicopters evacuated 7,000 people offshore onto aircraft carriers. There are so many iconic images of these evacuations. This one here is probably the most famous of them all. There are also images of helicopters being pushed off aircraft carriers to make room for other people and helicopters landing and coming on the aircraft carriers. But yeah, pretty cool. Alright, coming in number 7, we've got the movie The Great Escape and the escape that happens in the movie The Great Escape. Steve McQueen is the man. This is one of the greatest movies of all time and his performance in it is epic. This is the movie where they dig under and get out of the stupid prisoner of war camp they're in. They dig a tunnel under the walls and get out, which is pretty epic. Unfortunately, a lot of the guys who escape and make it out of the POW camp don't actually get away and they die. God War's just fucking stupid. No one ever wins, do they? Alright, coming in number 6, we've got Mcconaughey in Fool's Gold. He's just pissed off Kevin Hart one too many times, so Kevin Hart orders his, murder. They're out in the middle of the ocean with those two stupid idiot henchmen. McConaughey somehow manages to get free, shoots one of them in the foot. They throw the anchor in, so he's sort of fucked from there. He ends up keeping the gun, falling to the bottom of the ocean, shooting off the chain, and then getting saved in style, smashing beers with those bros. Alright, coming at number 5, we've got the Maze Runner, how the crew escape from the maze. The gang have been in the maze for years and haven't even come close to getting out. Enter Thomas and that babe Teresa. Within days, they've made progress that the whole group hasn't made in years. Similar to a Prees, where people are just sitting on the couch, there's no music on, they're just not really doing anything. Thomas and Teresa come in, they're the game changers. They come in, they challenge the status quo, start slamming shots, smashing down beer bongs, and they get everyone up and about. And before you know it, they're out of the maze. This new, fresh approach to the maze has worked wonders, and these old, regressive ideals of not doing anything and doing the same thing over and over again have become obsoleted, and the group have realised, what have we been doing all this time? There may be a lesson here. Alright, coming in number 4, we've got the Finding Nemo Fishtank. This was some Danny Ocean type shit. Gil had previously tried to escape a few times. One of those times he landed on some dental equipment and tore his right side up, I think it is. He hatches a plan to get Nemo out of there. They succeed and they're both lying on a tray at one stage. Gil then jumps on a dental mirror and flicks Nemo into the drain and he gets away. It's a very selfless act from Gil. He'd been trying to escape forever and he knows that he can't do it, so he jumps on, helps Nemo do what he could not. Coming in number 3, we've got the Martian escaping Mars. Mark Watney gets left for dead on Mars when his group 86 it back to Earth after a big storm. They thought he was dead, so they left. He ends up surviving for 564 days on Mars by growing and eating his own potatoes. He also develops a slight prescription drug problem while stuck on Mars, which is fine. I mean, I've developed one here on Earth under no hardships whatsoever. He gets to one of the spaceships on the surface and hots it up and strips it of the weight and does the big takeoff and gets back and rejoins the Ares crew. Alright, coming in number 2, we've got Ava escaping on Mcconaughey. Ava is an AI robot that was built by Nathan. The little nerd Caleb was brought to the facility by Nathan to test Ava's sentience. Ava manages to use self-awareness, empathy, manipulation, and her sexuality to convince that sucker Nathan to help her escape. I fall victim to this type of behaviour regularly. I still have never unfollowed a girl on Instagram. So she escapes and gets out into the real world for the first time. Probably takes over the world, let's be honest here. And that sucker Caleb is stuck in the middle of nowhere in that facility, locked up in that room. Alright, coming in at number 1, we've got the Hobbits escaping the ring wraiths on the Bucklebury Ferry in Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring. These 4 hobbits could not be more out of their depth at the start of this movie. Boy oh boy are they lucky that they knew the ground and the area that they were. They are being pursued by 9 of the most deadly killers Middle-earth has ever seen. These wraiths were once 9 kings of men corrupted by the power of the One Ring, but you already know this, I don't need to get into it. They're in really close quarters with the wraiths in the far east end of the Shire, and then Merry suggests Bucklebury Ferry. They get separated. The 3, Merry, Pip and Sam, are on Bucklebury Ferry, have untied it, and then comes Frodo hauling ass, being chased by the ring wraith. He jumps from the pier onto the ferry and they get away. The wraiths then haul ass to the Brandywine Bridge 20 miles away, but they escaped. Alright, that's it for top 10 best escapes of all time. Let me know what you thought, and yeah, have a good one. I'll see you next time.